Today, once again, we're doing the best case series where I consider some of the best Pokemon games and make a case for why it could potentially be the best Pokemon game of all time. Now, today, we have HeartGold and Soul Silver. Now, let's begin. HeartGold and Soul Silver contains two regions with 16 gym leaders. A rival whose father got defeated in the last game, but we will get to that slowly. First up, starter selection. You have Typhlosion. Crazy to say his name after what happened, but not canon. For Alligator, Meganium. No, honestly, nobody used Meganium. No one, and some people kinda used for Alligator. So, but the main pick was Typhlosion. That was the main starter. And that'd be the star I'll be referring to as for the rest of this video. So, you pick Cyndaquil, you go out into the world, but you see somebody standing outside the professor's lab. Who is that? That's your rival, Silver. Silver is he's watching you pick your starter. He's watching the professor to see when he's not paying attention, so he could go in there and steal a starter. He takes a starter that, of course, is better against yours, better type. Assuming for Alligator, because most people pick Cyndaquil. But so you go throughout the region, right? And then from time to time you see Team Rocket grunts, so you have to go stop Team Rocket. But you're like, hold on. If you had played Red and Blue or Fire Red, you're confused because you're like, hold on, these guys should have been stunned. The problem is Red finished the job. He already beat Giovanni, but some Team Rocket members didn't want to give up that lifestyle. So they formed Neo Team Rocket instead to keep it going. They're trying to get Giovanni back, but they don't know where Giovanni is. We'll get to that later. But so you have to go through and clean up this mess that already should have been dealt with. Okay. That point will also come into effect later. So you go through your region, and at times you have to go fight Silver. Alright? But as you're fighting Silver, you're learning about the region. You're going out, you're hearing about the legends, you're hearing about Ho-Ho or Lugia, depending on what version you're playing, right? And also you feel the freedom that you have in this game. You can fight Jasmine or Chuck, depending on which order. And there's literally a city you have to go to the lighthouse, go help her sick Ampharos, come back there to fight her, or instead you can do that, go fight Chuck instead, and then come back. Now, a common complaint I hear about the Johto region is that some of the gym leaders have canceled Pokemon, and that is very much so true. They should not have this, and this is still a problem. This is what we call Gen 1 fans getting extra treatment. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I guess they didn't like the last video I made either, but that's a topic for another day. And of course, when you pander to Gen 1 fans like crazy, heck, even Johto's even connected to Kanto. Isn't that something? Guess it can't stand out on his own. But one thing Johto does stand out on his own is way better towns. Ecruteak City, you go back there a lot. Each time it's a different region. One time you go there, you're fighting the Komodo girls. Next time you go there, you're fighting Ho. And then one time you go there, you're going through the Burn Tower. And you see all three legendaries standing right there. You're going through there with a purpose. You go there and you talk to people, they're telling you about the town's lore. And that's how it is with every town in this game. The town's lore, this and that. You're really free in this game. More freer than a lot of modern games in this series. Of course, like your team's probably gonna contain a Gen 1 Pokemon if you keep playing for long enough. Does mine contain one? I don't know, my team is Typhlosion. Alright. So you go through, you beat the 8 gym leaders, you go fight Lance, who has 3 Dragonites, by the way. He couldn't pick a better team, huh? But you go fight Lance. He has 3 Dragonites. He's more so of a flying type trainer than he is a dragon type trainer. You beat him, okay, right? Then you go through Kanto, right? After you don't stop Team Rocket, this time cleaning up the mess that Red didn't finish. You go through, right? You beat them too, and then you go to Professor Oak. And then you go to like Red's mom, and then next thing you know, his mom is like, "Man, I haven't seen my baby boy in forever." Like, man, so where could he be? So you go on top of Mount Silver, and you see Red, a man you've been playing catch up to, a man who really you've been having his sloppy seconds, and it's finally your chance to prove that you are better than him, the overall better trainer, and you do. You finally take Red down, and he goes sees, and he goes back to his mom, which he abandoned for 3 years. Crazy, by the way. And it was just on top of this frozen, this mountain. But you know, you do you. Only at age 13. Crazy to think about. Wild work. I didn't know getting frostbite was the method, but guess it is. As you know, this game also contains. Oh no, we're not gonna get to that. We're gonna get to this. People complain about the level curve in this game, and honestly, based off what some of the people were saying in my last video, I was saying grinding is fun. So tough it out, thug it out, little Nick. You'll be okay. Right? Grinding is fun. Running in a same patch of grass is fun. Right? Only having 3 useful Pokemon when the other 3 are just bench ones is useful. Wink, wink. It's not like EXP share. Fix all that to make sure when you sub in a Pokemon, you don't have one Pokemon that's level 50 and then your other team is like level 12. Because let's be real, you all didn't grind your team evenly. Go through there. There's events on certain days in this game. It makes it absolutely beautiful. Certain days you get to catch the last piece, you come on the right days, get some mini games with the Pokemon. Game with a beautiful world and detailed towns, breathtaking city, whole bunch of them. And even for Gen 1 fans, you get to go back to Kanto. It's almost like you guys don't get enough treatment. Let's give Charizard 10 megas. Why don't you? Let's even get some Mega and ZA. Let's give Venusaur and Blastoise another Mega. Let's give Mewtwo another Mega. It's not like some of those roster spots didn't need to be filled by other Pokemon, but Gen 1 supremacy. Yeah, oh, also, another mechanic I need to mention. Following Pokemon. They have models where every single Pokemon follows you in the same speed as you. Right? When you're walking around the world, before you enter every battle, when you finish every battle, there's always a Pokemon following you. It's always so nice. It just feels like a real adventure. You know? Which I guess this is probably the most realistic Pokemon game, as you are pretty free to do what you want, as you can take on certain gym leaders in any order. You can do a lot. It's a lot of post-game content after you beat the Elite Four. Heck, you get to go to a whole nother region. You can't really ask for much more. Can't really. Not really the best starter selection, but I guess it's better than that one fire pig from the last video we did. I digress, but yeah, Typhlosion, he kind of carries his trio hard, but he puts the team on his back, or I guess he puts something else on his back now. Not a Jug's dead. You know who you are. I wonder who wrote that though. Silver, you go through, right? Let's sum up Silver's story real quick. Right, he picks a starter that's better than yours, right? Eventually, he's mistreating his Pokemon, which they even say in Ecruteak. No, is it? Which even the old man points out that he's mistreating his Pokemon. So he goes throughout the game. You beat him again and again, right? And eventually, he finally learns how to care for his Pokemon. You and him team up at some point, do a double battle together. It's beautiful. He stops hating you. You guys kind of become cool. And his story kind of ends there. So he goes from being the kid who stole his starter to the kid who now loves Pokemon, doesn't hate his dad no more. And speaking of his dad, if you went back in time with the Celebi ding, You go fight his dad, you beat him, and his dad kind of takes a jump off a very high place. And since all his Pokemon are gone, I don't know if you think he landed properly. That's on y'all, but leave that to y'all to think about. But with that being said, thanks for watching, and yeah, goodbye.